Today's video is brought to you by Oxido LED lighting. You might think that you can see just fine at night. Well, I did too, until I did this little upgrade. As you can see from this footage, here is some before Oxido LED lighting, and here is some after Oxido LED lighting. The difference is amazing. With high brightness and easy installation, Oxido LED lighting is definitely the route for you. They're easy to install, and they're available for all makes and models. Click on the link in the description below and enter promo code 612motorsports at checkout to get yourself 15% off. Now back to our video. Hello and welcome back to another episode of 612 Motorsports. In today's episode we're going to be working on the 2002 Chevy S-10 Xtreme. As you can see, it's sitting here behind me. I've got the hood up. There's a couple simple little things we got to take care of on it. I just got it legal today. I got plates and everything transferred, so we're ready to start driving this as our daily now. And we need to do a few things to avoid getting pulled over. But before we get too far into the video, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, please hit that subscription button, the notification bell, leave a comment, a thumbs up. All that stuff is super helpful, and it is very greatly appreciated. So on this guy, we've got a low beam headlight out. Not a big deal. We're just going to pull that out. Now, I did put new headlights in here, last fall, I believe, and it stopped working since then. So it might be something as simple as just the plug-in isn't plugged in all the way, or it's a little loose or something. But I do have another bulb to replace that just in case it needs to be replaced. And then I figured, because it's kind of difficult to get those set into place, I'm going to have to pull the grill off. And I figure while we got the grill off, we're going to change that bow tie to a nice stainless one. Just give it a little extra sheen in the front. Since we got the nice chrome bezels around the headlights and everything, I just think it would look a little nicer. Plus, I'm not a fan of that reflective kind of gold badge. Just not a big fan. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, don't get me wrong. But I think to spruce up the looks of the front end here, we're going to go ahead and replace that anyways. So, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just turn them on so you can see what I'm talking about. Nothing major, but it's just something that can definitely get a guy pulled over, and if you can avoid getting pulled over, why not? So we're going to go ahead and replace that, but we're going to go ahead and pull this grill off first. Take your time with these clips. If you have to do so yourself, you don't want to be breaking the grill itself, because it is simple plastic, so you don't want to do any unnecessary damage if you don't have to. Remember, kids, slow and steady wins the race. Just like so. Tuck these bulbs back just so we don't hurt anything. And as like you've seen me do in the past, there's simply a little clip. And to be able to do this with one hand, not the easiest. Go ahead and remove both of those clips. Then the headlight itself tips in and out. So let's just make sure our connection is good here, and it is. So that means our bulb is bad. We're just going to go ahead and disconnect both of them and the third so that we can take this out without scratching anything up or causing any problems. Okay, so I see that we have a little bit of issue with, looks like a little corrosion inside there. See if you can see it. And a little on the end of the clip. Now, I'm just going to plug that in and see what happens. See, we do have a funky little connection there. Remember, don't touch the filament, the bulb itself. So we're going to go ahead and clean these terminals, the two pins inside here, quick. And we're just going to use a microfiber and a small flathead screwdriver. We're not going to bend them over, we just want to kind of clean the schmutz off of there. It didn't turn out too bad, but we want to make sure we're getting good contact. Otherwise, we'll be driving down the road, it might be blinking, it might come on or off. We just want to avoid any of that. Look at there. We'll simulate a little road bounce. We'll move this around a little. Want to make sure everything's as clean as it can be. We know the bulb is good, but we still have a little bit of stuff inside there. So I'm just going to use a little pick, and I'm just going to kind of try to free that up a little bit. So you can see there's a little bit of stuff on the end of the pick. Just want to kind of make sure we don't end up with any issues. I'd rather spend a little time doing this now. And if I had a little dielectric grease, I would put that on there, because that would help prevent any further corrosion. Now, you can get a replacement pigtail for this. Your local auto parts store has them, not a big deal, but then you're cutting back into your harness and then you're making another point where you could end up with a malfunction. Anytime you splice in, that is a point for failure, future failure anyways. So we're just going to make sure this is nice and clean. I obviously can't get all the way inside, but if I plug my light in and take it out a couple of times, maybe some stuff will stick to the pins. And actually, they look pretty good. So I'm just going to go ahead and plug this back in. Remember, we're still in the testing phase. I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on. Okay, so we're good there. And let's see, if you just move it around enough. I think we're going to be okay because it's just bouncing and the harness shouldn't be moving or flexing, and I think we're just going to go ahead and run that. So we're going to go ahead and disconnect that again, and we can see we got a little booger there. So anything we can get out is going to be beneficial in the long run. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off. I am going to mount that light bulb back in. And remember, folks, be careful with those. You do not want to touch the bulb. The oils on your fingers will cause the bulb to burn out faster. We'll lock that in. We'll go ahead and lock them both in now. Put those into place like so. We are locked in. Let's give it a try. We're both running. That's good. Now that is just something that I am going to keep an eye on. A guy never knows what's going to happen. I mean, we could get water, moisture, anything is possible. Vibration, I mean, these aren't the sturdiest. They're in there, but they're not tight, you know. So, over time, road vibration, whatever, might kind of jostle that a little loose. But for now, we're calling that good. And then what we'll do is we will keep an extra bulb, the one that I bought in case it was burned out. I'm going to keep that in the cab with me, and then that way if I do get pulled over, I can tell the officer that I'm aware of it. I have the bulb here, and hopefully that'll get us out of any kind of fix-it ticket or anything of that nature. So if you know you got a bulb out and you haven't gotten to it, just get one. Either do it right away or throw it in the cab. Alright, next we're going to go ahead and replace that. And there are simply two little bolts on the inside, two little mini nuts on there. And I'm going to guess they're probably around a 10 mil. 10 mil exactly. I love these little screwdriver handles that take a socket. They just come in super handy a lot of times, especially like right now. So we're going to go ahead and pop that off. Okay, so we got our studs. Let's go ahead and put this puppy in. Oh, yes. That is a zillion times better. Just looking at it already. So, we're going to put our washers on the back side. We're going to go ahead and get these started. I'm not going to reef on them too hard. I'm just going to get them tight. These are definitely a long shafted stud, so we're in. We're looking like $1,000,000. Yeah, that's a lot better. Sometimes it's simple little dress-up things that can really change the whole look of the thing. So we're going to go ahead and hook up our turn signals, snap this grill back in, and I think the front end then will be buttoned up. Doesn't that look better? That sure looks better to me. With the headlights. We get rid of, on camera here, it doesn't really look a whole lot different. But believe me, it's different. I'll get it out here in the sun and get a few shots of it for you, but it's definitely a lot better. Alright, so we got that taken care of, but there's one little thing left that we have to do cosmetically. And I guess it is functional as well. But that's our little dome light here, our map light. As you can see, the bulb has dried that, oh, you can't see, there it is. So the bulb has dried that out so much that it's turned very brittle. And it looks like hell. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. I did actually take the bulb out because it had gotten so hot. And what I am going to do is replace that with an LED. Simple enough. But before I forget, we're going to take this extra headlight that we got, put it in the glove box, and here's the replacement. It's just a Dorman. It's model 74323 GM dome lens. So let's go ahead and get that opened up. You can get this at your local auto parts store as well. I happen to have ordered it from Rock Auto. But, and as you can see, they get yellow over time, very brittle and dry. This one is nice and white, so when we get a nice LED in there, it's really going to brighten it up good. And that is just a simple snapper in, and she's good. That looks a lot better, and I know it's not going to crumble on me and make a mess and get worse. So let's get this thing out in the sun. I can show you what the front end looks like now with that different emblem in there, and then I think we're going to call this one good. Okay. Nice and crispy. Look at the sun gleaming off of that. Really brightens that front end up. Kind of brings it to life more. I am very happy with that little project. I'm glad we got the headlight taken care of. At least we know what the problem is. Well, that's going to do it for today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. And as always, stay positive, work hard, and make it happen.